They're at what? $8-9 million, almost 10. They're right there by 10 million. Okay. Andre got a guaranteed of 6.5. When you split that 7.8 up with the pay-per-view distributor, you're only getting 40% of that 7.8 million is coming to you. That's before taxes. Everybody lost their ass. I think Kovalev fought for nothing. I don't know if Kovalev even made a dime off of this. When you think of taxes, when you think of what his corner is going to make off of him and what his promotional, Kathy Duva, what's her percentage she gets from Kovalev's check? Kovalev might have fought for free 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Right. I agree. I literally agree. So there you go.
That's sad. I don't even know how that. Once again, Kovalev, that almost seems criminal. I wouldn't be surprised that he gets lawyered up. I don't know how he ever agreed to a contract, and with his resume that he had in boxing, you're talking about one of the best champions, pound for pound guys of face on HBO. He's been fighting for HBO for a while. HBO was pumping him up for their company to get him nothing. What did Kathy make on the back end of that deal?
Yeah, right.
Just saying. I got no evidence, but I mean, come on. Are you serious right now?
So we're saying not only rappers and music icons don't sign with them, don't sign with any females.
Oh, main events, yeah.
And don't sign with women.
Don't.
You're saying don't sign with women, Andrew.
That's why you never say yes before Lee Honish is finished. With
How many women listen to this show? Let's be perfectly honest. None?
I have no idea. But
the first one that listens will be the first one that listens.
I am saying main events, that was questionable negotiating skills right there, Lee. Really was.
Well,
everyone thought your guy won, but you can't get him one guaranteed $1. Not one.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. All right, let's talk about Saturday night's fights. We got a lot of boxing on Saturday, Andrew.
It's a great night.
Where to start? Let's start with the shitty fights, shall we? And the winner of the shitty fights goes to HBO, who's doing Boxing After Dark, the WBC super featherweight title. Doesn't sound shitty. It is shitty. Miguel Berchelt is taking on Takashi Miura. Here locally, I get that it's compared to what else is going on Saturday night, Andrew. Of the three fights, is this not in third position?
As far as star power.
In regards to fight period. Okay, let's be honest.
Hey, listen, Joe Smith Jr. is the one that stopped Bernard Hopkins' career. He's going up against Sullivan Barrera. Sullivan Barrera's the Abel Sanchez kid. He went 12 rounds with Ward.
It's an HBO After Dark fight card. That's what it is. They're $20 general admission seats at the Forum. This is the fight that I've been looking at on my calendar when everybody goes, Lee, take me to a fight. Okay, I'm going to go buy some $20 seats and go take everybody to go see this fight card. Because you know what? It'll be busy, and it'll look good, and it'll all be over by 9 o'clock because it'll be shot on the West Coast at 6 o'clock, right?
We could see 2 fight of the year candidates Saturday night and also a knockout of the year.
Okay, so on HBO, starting at 10 o'clock, basically East Coast time, live from the West Coast, Joe Smith Jr. versus Sullivan Barrera, Jezreel Corrales versus Robinson Castanelos. Fuck, I always get the shit names. WBA super featherweight title, right? And then your main event, Berchelt versus Miura for the featherweight title. Do I think they're all going to be busy and interesting to watch? Yeah. And if I don't go to that big giant concert at Dodger Stadium on Saturday, I will probably buy a fistful of tickets and take a bunch of boxing fans to go see that fight. Probably. Now, if I had my choice of the 3 fights, and I didn't mind traveling, and I wanted to use my credential power, I'd probably go to England and see Eubank versus Abraham with Selby's and Bars.
Right here.
Come on.
Yeah,
again,
big moment.
It's going to be another big-time fight. You're talking Matchroom Boxing. It's another Eddie Hearn super fight card stacked up to the gills, right? The guy knows how to put on events. It's a good fight. Eubanks versus Abraham is probably the best. And not to mention, Showtime is putting on Brain Damage, Robert Guerrero versus Omar Figueroa. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, the undercard is complete shit. I don't give a crap about Artur Spilska and Adam Kowalski.
Right.
And I don't even know who Marcus Brown and Shawnee Monahan are. I don't. I got to be honest. That's filler to the fight card. They're betting on welterweights. They're betting on Figueroa and Brain Damage for a good fight. And here's what I could say about Brain Damage. He puts on a great fight card every time. He's prepared to die in the ring. The reason everybody loves Robert Guerrero, the reason we love Robert Guerrero, well, the reason you love him is because he's from the Bay Area. But the rest of the reason why boxing fans love him, he fights like he's straight out of TJ. Like, the dude fights like his life depends on it every time. He's outclassed and been outmatched in his last, let me see if I got this right, last 4 fights. Am I correct?
Yeah, PBC probably, yeah. The matchmaking skills of PBC haven't been the best.
Well, they've been putting him in where he is clearly a weight class beneath the guy he should be fighting. That's my opinion. He's fighting. He's fighting way too big. He's fighting way too big, as we say in the business. It's funny. While we were doing this, I just got an email for my next tournament where I was cutting weight, and they've lowered the age and they've changed the weight for my division, and I'm looking at it right now, and it's so stacked up, and I'm so depressed at this moment. Sorry, I digress. Let's talk boxing.
2 fight of the year candidates, possible knockout of the year. Look, Arthur Abraham's going to test Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. really never been in with a puncher like this. Also, the big lights, the nerves. That's why I'm thinking Arthur Abraham, possible knockout victory for him. Robert Guerrero, Omar Figueroa. If he cannot beat Omar Figueroa, it will be time for Robert to hang him up. Omar is a blown-up lightweight. Really haven't seen too much of him in these divisions. I remember he looked heavy. I do remember that, Lee. He did not look like a freaking junior middleweight, welterweight.
Honestly, my opinion of this fight when they made it was they're building Guerrero up so he has a fairly notable TV win.
Maybe a Spence fight coming.
Yeah, like they want to feed him to somebody else that they could actually
make
some
more time.
Yeah.
he like you said, Lee, he's a fan favorite.
Brain damage, Robert Guerrero, no doubt.
Stop it.
He's no longer the ghost. If you think he's the ghost,
he's never
you're crazy.
Been. I've been saying that for a long time, Lee. He hasn't been the ghost for a while. He kind of stands right in front of you.
Right?
You see Robert all day.
See him all day. I think his new nickname is more appropriate. Brain Damage Guerrero.
Oh, that is so mean, though. You can't say that.
I don't.
Bro.
I try to find names and say controversial. There's people still listening to the show going, really? Are you reaching? Not really. Not really. We're not going to be surprised when he has Alzheimer's later on. Nobody's going to be. There's not even his wife is going to go, oh, we're so curt. Oh, yeah. We expected it.
Took a lot of. He's in a lot of wars. This Saturday should be no different. Figueroa is going to come forward. Robert's going to come forward. I think he has enough to beat Figueroa, though. I'm really just not impressed of where Figueroa's careers went. Lee, bad on my part for now. Now I'm sounding like Stephen A. Smith. I don't even know what the hell happened to the kid. I don't know how you go from a prospect in the lightweight divisions and jump all the way to junior middleweight. What happened? Like, did you just start eating? Did you stop training? Did he get shot and I didn't know about it? So he was out of shape. Hopefully Saturday night they kind of opened up on why Figueroa has moved up so many weight divisions. That's why I have him losing this fight. Is he dedicated? When you gain 20 pounds overnight, were you really dedicated? We'll see. I got Robert winning.
All right. Let's pick him. Ready? Berchelt Mira.
I like Berchelt. He beat Vargas in his last fight. Francisco Vargas, a hell of a fighter. Mira seems like that guy that's always in, but on the losing end of the fights. fight of the year candidate. These two throw bombs, but I'm going with Burchell.
Corrales Castellanos.
Have no idea.
Neither do I.
Go Corrales. Yeah, I'm going Corrales.
Just because of the name, right?
Stop it.
Joe Smith Jr. versus Sullivan Barrera.
Joe Smith Jr. versus Sullivan Barrera. I'm going Joe Smith. Look, I like the kid since the Fonfara knockout. You follow that up with the Bernard Hopkins knockout. We're going Joe Smith all the way, and he's a union guy.
Artur Szpilka versus basically Tubbo.
I'm going with the guy that he's fighting. Szpilka has been knocked out way too many times, Lee. This guy, you're talking brain damage Guerrero. Szpilka, he needs to stop.
Yeah, but he's one of those swarthy European guys. They can get hit in the head a lot.
I'm telling you right now.
He might even be a gypsy. You don't know. You don't know about Szpilka. He could be a gypsy. Brown Monahan. Do you know shit about him?
No.
Neither do I.
Well, yeah, I think Marcus Brown.
Yeah.
Undefeated, isn't he? I believe.
Okay.
No, I believe that's a decent fight. Two decent contenders right there. Yeah.
I feel like Shawnee Monahan is one of their Olympic guys. I feel he's one of their prospects. No, I feel that.
I feel that too, Lee.
Is that sad that we just kind of think that, but we don't know for sure? I feel like I was at an event, and I feel like he was on the event, and he was like 8-0. But I could be completely wrong, too, because you know what? I just don't give a shit. Omar Figueroa, Robert Guerrero, final bet pick.
I'm going with Robert. 12-round unanimous decision, Lee.
I'm going with Omar Figueroa just to be controversial. Robert Guerrero will have a blood clot and die in the ring. Lee Selsby versus Jonathan Barros, IBF featherweight title.
Lee Selsby. Yeah, Jonathan Barros, good fighter, good
It'll be a good 6 rounds. It'll be a good 6 rounds, is what it'll be.
Lee Selsby's younger, fresher.
He's on a different plane right now, and he is definitely one of Eddie Hearn's favorite children. He seems to find his way on all these cards, and he finishes strong. He looks good on an undercard. And in the main event, Chris Eubanks Jr. takes on Artur Abraham. How old is Artur Abraham? He's got to be.
He's getting up there, yeah. Yes. Getting up there, Lee, but tremendous hooker. I want to say hooker. Has some good power in his punches, Lee. I like him in this fight. I like the upset here. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is a kid who's a little bit too much on social media. I think he looks ahead a lot. Talks about all these other future matches that he wants. I don't know if he's been paying attention to the power that's in front of him. I like to take Artur Abraham. If the odds are giving it to me in Vegas, if they're giving me that fight, I like to take Artur Abraham by upset knockout.
This comes down to a black guy and a white guy, Andrew, and I'm always going to bet on the black guy. Is there wrong with that logic? Tell me what's wrong with that logic in this situation. When you're going to put money on a fight, let's do it by default.
Especially when it's a
black
UK.
Guy versus white guy. Who are you going to bet on?
Yes. Most of the time I'm going black.
Okay, black guy versus Mexican from the U.S.
Well, we talk
black versus Mexican, U.S. Mexican.
Yeah, you can still probably go
black, right?
Black guy. Yeah.
Black guy,
There's
Mexico.
only one Oscar
right,
De La Hoya.
right. Black guy, Mexican from Mexico. TJ specifically. Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Right? Hey, don't fuck with me like I don't know boxing. If you got a bet based on color lines, that's the way to go. By the way, that's a good betting guide for anybody listening. It's like a blackjack cheaters card. So if you don't know shit about boxing, you just look at where they're from. The more economically disadvantaged they are, the better the fighter, generally speaking. And then the wild card, don't fuck with white guys over 185 pounds out of Europe. They all seem to be fucking whack job, gypsies. Or have PhDs. It's a weird wild card. I don't even understand why Eastern European men all look like Drago. They all look like Drago, Andrew. They all
talk about Eastern European men. You see that Cruiserweight Super Series?
Yeah, it's up, and it's actually going around
Twitter.
I was going to ask you about it. Again, hard at work. Eddie Hearn, mastermind behind that project.